All right. Hey, you guys, it's Emily Ray, your course director for Portfolio 3. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of feedback on the portfolio sites that you resubmitted recently that had a few enhancements that you made since you were in editing for the web last month. I've gone ahead and I've queued up two sites. Right now we're going to be looking at the site of Brittney and of Princess. I've queued them up in the browser, so let's jump over there and take a look. All right, so first up we have the site of Brittney. Very kind of clear introduction over here. We've got your name and then home, things I've written in portfolio. A little bit of a welcome message, just to say that you're a student at Full Sail. It's actually Full Sail, not Full Sales. You know, just kind of some inspirational insight as to, you know, the power of words. So we have a little bit, we've got a video here, and I'm assuming that it's a video about you, Brittney, but I don't have any context, right? So I've got this, which is the title, you know, can you give me a little bit more information here to help me make a decision about whether or not I want to press play on this? What story is it? It's a story how you came into media, how you came into writing, you know, your history, your background, you know, a title and a brief introduction and a call to action like watch this or check it out or learn more might be helpful here. I'm going to see where these links take me. So this takes me to things I've written. So and it looks like we've got a couple of blog posts here. So was Beyonce robbed? And why Black Lives Matter to me. So, you know, some pretty powerful posts here. I'm going to go ahead and just select one. We've got these images that pop up. And take us to basically a blog post where you detail kind of, you know, your thoughts on these particular matters. You know, blog posts are long form, you know, content entries. You expect to see a lot more text there. What I might say is I'd like to see a line break between these paragraphs, right? So we see more space between the end of this one and the beginning here, but not so much in these other places like where these lines break and new paragraphs start. Those line breaks are essential to kind of help organize the flow of the information and allow people to more easily jump from the end of the line or paragraph to another one. So I'm going to next jump over or back. One thing to note also is just kind of like the very stark difference between the home page, which is kind of this turquoise green color, and then on the blog here we've got turquoise but with a little bit of white, and then when we go see one of these posts it's totally white. So there's some design inconsistency here. I'd like to see a little bit more in the way of you know, uniform branding throughout. So you've given me like consistent kind of logo, text-based logo up here, a consistent navigation, but the visual styling is jumping around a bit. So that's something that you can definitely work on. One thing I will say though, that this Beyonce post is formatted a lot better than what we saw with the Black Lives Matter one. So use this one as, you know, use this one as an example for how to organize the content that you see here, right? Next up, jumping over to portfolio. So here, you know, just you give me an introduction. This page will be changing as it's, you know, your best work and takeaways, you know, from different classes. You have videos that you've done before and after Photoshop work, so that's cool, showing kind of the spectrum of what you've done. I like that you've contextualized it. You've shown your progress in between, you know, these different versions of this artwork, and it's cool because it's showing your educational journey. So here we've got your viral video contest, you've got digital storytelling, but what I see is that, you know, these videos don't have kind of unique or relevant titles based on the content, but rather the assignments that you created. So what I want to see here is a unique title that is kind of telling of the, you know, the content of what we define in the video, and then a brief description of what it is. So then that way, as a visitor, I can make the choice. Let's say I'm pressed for time. I'll see the title and a short description, and I can make a better decision, you know, if I'm pressed for time, you know, which one of these that I want to view. I'm going to go ahead and just select one of these to see what happens. So it brings it up in a light box type larger application. I can see that it's a business card. And I like that, you know, you've included this explanation here as to what we're seeing and kind of your creative process. I like that. One of the things that I'm thinking about for your site, though, Brittney, is that, you know, you talk about wanting to be a writer, and certainly your blog is demonstrative of that, right? So we can, you know, see your writing skill, you know, read your words, hear your thoughts as expressed there. You know, but kind of wondering, where does the video and the Photoshop skills work into that? Are you going to be branding yourself as something, you know, larger or different than, say, just a writer? So this is something I want you to be thinking about as you continue to work through the MCBS program. In the end, your portfolio should be a nice portrait of the kinds of work that you want to do when you graduate. Does that include Photoshop? Does that include video work? I don't know. This is something for you to be thinking about so you'll know how to characterize and present yourself upon graduation. Perhaps this portfolio is just one that documents your educational journey, which shows the building of a skill set, a diverse skill set from, you know, the beginning of the program to the end. If that's the case, then this would take kind of the shape or the container of you know, a student portfolio that is intended to show an evolution of skills. I'm going to go back to the home page because I know that there's more here for me to take a look at. As I scroll down, and I mean, it's not written up here in terms of my navigational options, but I know that as I scroll down, more information is going to appear. So kind of a little bit of an about me. This is a lot of empty space, you know, that we're seeing here. Can we move this information up on the page so that we're taking, you know, more advantage of that and not having to scroll as much? One thing I'll say here is I'd like to see a little bit more padding in between, you know, the edge of this photo and the text, right? So the text should start somewhere around here so that there's breathing room and it doesn't butt right up against the edge of that photo there. Scrolling down again, so a lot of empty space and then some work experience. So here, you say work experience, but then you made me go ahead and download something else. And then there's a lot of empty space here. So I really want you to think about, how do I consolidate this into, you know, into a very, you know, a powerful presentation of, you know, not much content. It's fine that there's not much here, but it looks like looks like less content because it is scattered out as much as it is. You've got a PDF of your resume here. I might suggest you pull the information that's on the resume and post it here as text on the page, because then it becomes able to be indexed by search engines, and that keyword-rich content might help a user stumble upon your portfolio site and get you hired for a gig. Scrolling down, we've got your education here. So again, very spaced out. I would like to see this you know, brought up higher up on the page, so I'm not having to scroll as much. And then a simple contact me form gives your location, and as I'm hovering over these social media icons, I can see in fact that they are linking out to your other social media presences on the web. So that's nice that they are linking out there. Overall, Brittney, this is definitely a stronger iteration of what you created in editing for the web. It seems to me like you're you know, getting a little bit more clarity on how you want to present yourself and the type of work that you want to do in the industry. And I certainly look forward to seeing how this evolves as you continue to get a clearer picture of what that looks like. Jumping next over to the portfolio site of Princess. So this is a very strong portfolio site here. Very powerful branding. You've got your icon up here, and then just kind of like this short but sweet introduction, and the you know, the characterization of your work in creative direction. So I am going to navigate this page to see how it's changed between editing for the web and now. So I'm going to jump down to the About section. So here I like the reiteration of the logo in this section. We've got a video of you here. At first I didn't know it was a video. I thought it was just a photo because the play button, the black on it, kind of floats into the background there. You might consider a custom thumbnail just to you know, maybe even some text on the thumbnail, which is an invitation to press play on this. I like that you have streamlined your bio or your introduction here, and gives a little bit of background information on you and the work that you're doing already in the industry. I have the ability to download your resume here. What I'll say, and I'm just kind of reiterating this from you know, what we heard just moments ago with Brittney's site, pulling some of the content from your resume and putting it here on the page would allow you to have more keywords that are searchable by potential users or visitors to your site, so there is some value in adding that. This, I believe, is a stock image because I've seen it on other portfolio sites. It's cool because it's super media related, but I've seen it in other places. You have a lot of content creation skills. Your stuff's on point. You might consider swapping this out for something that you've taken. Maybe it's your own workspace. I like that you've included kind of this, you know, your skill set here. We've got the technical aspects of the work that you can do, and shows proficiency in all these areas. I like that you have the navigation bar here that's allowing me to jump between these areas. But what I'll say is that the organization of them, right? So it goes to professional and then experience drops me all the way past portfolio. You might want to rearrange that so that portfolio is listed here. That way it's just kind of chronological as you scroll through the various sections on the page. So I'm going to go to portfolio. We've got 3 featured projects up here and they look great. I'm going to go ahead and see more to see where it takes me. A separate page which has more projects here. You have a couple of looks like videos, some graphic design, but we're running into the issue whereby I'm hovering over it. There is some metadata here, so Heart and Soul, Turns 3, video promo. I could barely read it because the gray text over the dark background. So it's something here that, you know, you've provided this great information, but you haven't made it so that someone can, you know, clearly and easily read it. I'm going to go ahead and select that project, and when I do, it takes me kind of to a lightbox effect where it brings up the video. I can watch it and it gives me that information, but you're taking the chance that your visitor is going to take that additional step to get this, like, so it's cool to know that you did the cinematography and the editing and the effects on this, and unless I took that extra step to click on this, I might not have seen that. So I'm going to jump back here to, let's see, did we see experience? No, not yet. Okay, so here we've got kind of a timeline looking effect that talks about some of your experience in the industry. I like that you know, you showcase jobs or roles that you've held that speak to your media chops. So certainly if this is a portfolio to distinguish you in the media industry, it's important to highlight the tasks, responsibilities, and roles that have been media related in the past. So all of that is really well done. You've got a large amount of experience here to call on. Then last but not least, a simple contact form, and then your social media locations around the web, and it's all linked out. I can see it in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Princess, your work is fantastic, and I'm just so excited to see where this goes from here. Certainly as you continue in the MCBS program, you'll learn you know, more media related skills, but it's clear to see that you're already doing a lot of this in your everyday work. And so for that reason, you know, like, I look forward to seeing how you practice it in relevant ways in your day-to-day, like with what you can do at your job or with any freelance gigs, so that the projects that you are continuing to showcase here have a very personal and professional relevancy to you.